This is El-Rayis, a teacher of English as second language, and today we are going to interview Miss Asmaa, our beloved biology teacher, and we are here shooting from Alexandria Official Language School, and we are interviewing Miss Asmaa in particular because I love her and because we get along together so well. Hello, Miss Asmaa.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine.
Okay, there is an important question I want to ask you. Okay, with all the bad news about COVID-19 and about coronavirus and the news and the death rate everywhere and the large number of infected people and so on, how do you feel now? How are you spending your quarantine?
In the first, I feel all the time that I escaped from an enemy, but I can't see it.
Wow.
But satisfied that I can make all things to be safe. Wash my hand, using my gel, using my alcohol all the time. All the time, really. Okay. I'm spending my friends here in my house, inside my room.
Okay. This is your advice to everyone: stay home, stay safe.
Part of your parents, it's safety for you and them. I spend it in front of my tablet. Facebook videos about biology or not. Okay. Reading beside my tablet. Try to know many things about coronavirus. And so on.
Actually, I like what you said, that you're scared of an enemy that you cannot see. Because even before we shoot, Ms. Asmaa started to tell me, when you have an enemy and you can see that enemy, it's okay because you know what you're fighting with. But the problem with coronavirus is that we're scared, and we're scared of something that we cannot see, we cannot touch. It's not tangible. It's something scary in the vacuum, and we're all scared. And it's nice that I'm not alone, because sometimes I feel anxious. I'm scared all the time, especially that my parents are old and so on. So I'm scared of doing anything while we go to school and to carry the virus and so on, and take it back home with me, and my parents are going to get infected. So I like the image that she described, it's amazing. But at the same time, I like how she spends her quarantine in doing something beneficial. She's not wasting her time. She's reading, she's watching videos, she's catching up with recent information, whether about biology, her her major, or whether she's reading about different things, which is like productive. For me, actually, I spend it cooking and eating. I just get it.
So much.
Yes, it can show. It can tell. Okay, so yes, for me, I get into YouTube and I search for new recipes and I do them. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I do something good. And of course, I like reading also on my tablet. I read a lot of novels and so on. That's interesting. Okay, and I like that she's also taking care of her personal hygiene. I can tell you that Miss Asmaa washes her hand every 10 seconds. Okay, she just time and then she goes and wash her hands. She does anything and she goes and wash her hands, which is good. And we need to take her, or we need to emulate what Miss Asmaa is doing. Okay, my second question for you is, talking about the quarantine and the lockdown, and now there is no schools, our students are staying at home, but they are considering it more like a vacation. While we're supposed to do e-learning with the e-learning and so on. Why do you think our students are not really motivated and they don't really care, or they are not encouraged to look into like e-learning, like Edmodo, Zoom, Google Classroom, and all the platforms. Why are they not active? Despite the fact that they are, when it comes to technology, they are like more high-tech than our own generation. So how can we explain this?
They take care about a lot of things else more than the learning.
That explains a lot. Okay.
Okay, but all their other years or old years, the previous years, they studied only by facing interaction. Okay, they can't understand the meaning of e-learning or how to understand without interaction, direct interaction with their teachers. They try that, but their culture will need more development to learn that we can learn ourselves. Self-learning. They doesn't have any other idea or old ideas about self-learning. They are dependent. They need to be independent to try e-learning. But I think after not going to school, after not going to their private classes or private lessons, they try, especially in the exam times, to reach their teachers or reach another teachers to help them at the night of the exams. So I think in they're going to deal with e-learning the next month more than today, because the beginning of the exam they will fear about it, try to get help from anyone. So I think they're going to try it, but not because they want it.
Because they don't have any other choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me rephrase this. So Miss Asmaa believes that our students, because of the culture and everything, they are used that in order to learn, we need to go to school, we need a teacher, we need a tutor, whether it's a private tutor, they need face-to-face interaction, and they are not used to e-learning. Despite the fact that they actually are using the internet, but they have this idea that internet is only for fun. Internet is only for games, for Facebook, for all these sort of things. But when it comes to learning, no, they are not going to use the internet. However, Ms. Asmaa believes that in the near future, they are going to be using the internet because they have no choice. The schools are closed and the centers for the private course and the tutors are closed, so they are going to be forced in a way in order to use it, and they are going to be used to it bit by bit, and they are going to use it more by the time when they get used to it or when they are forced. Sorry for the interruption, let's get back. And my question for you is, okay, it seems that the future now is for project-based learning. So what do you think? And compare it to the exam-based learning. What's the difference and which one is more beneficial to the students? And should we fight it or should we let it go?
I think, and I need it since a lot of time. I fight for this idea since 4 years, I think. Exam must be ended because the idea of only try to study and answer the questions and let it go after the exam, and forget anything about it. We don't need it anymore. Okay, it's a very bad idea. It's not learning. Okay, but the project tests the learning outcome, not how can we rephrase a sentence to answer the questions in the exam, and nothing happened else. I think most of us, and this generation especially, doesn't have any base of learning. They study only for exam.
They are exam oriented.
Yes, they doesn't know or appreciate the fact of that learning is very important for us. We need to build our mind. Learning is very important. Building our culture, change it, make us developed all the time. Help us to think by different ways. Okay, not like other old traditional ways. Help you to be more effective. Help you to get new ideas, to solve a lot of problems. You can deal with your life by learning, not only inside the exam.
That's great, but what would you say to teachers who are going to say, no, our students are not used to project things, and they are used to be spoon-fed by their teachers, and they are not going to study, they are not going to care, they are going to copy their research or project from any site, and they are going to paste it, and that's it. What would you say to these teachers?
I can say for these teachers and their parents, you have to trust the students' mind. They have a lot of things, but we don't try it before. We don't try to let them go. Let them go to study. Let them go them to think. They will make you appreciate that after seeing the projects or the project that they get,
the outcome.
After using what they learn,
Exactly.
they use it to make a great project. If you see it, not that great, but their outcomes, not your outcomes. Okay? If this time, the first time, anything we need to use have the first time. Everything we try, I think there were first time for anything. Using the car, there were first time for using it, and I think all of them, it's very bad. No, it's good. No, it will going to make accidents. No. We're going to try it once, twice, and go on to reach the highest benefit from it. But not from the first time,
of course. So trial and failure.
There is no thing going without trying. We need to try. Let them try. Okay? After trying, they will going to motivate themselves, motivate their families to think by different way after they seeing that their babies doing something they can't or they not expected it, but they will going to make you proud. But give them
chance. Lesson parents, please, and teacher, please. Let your students and let your children or kids or whatever
have their chance to be different,
to learn their own way, okay, and at their own pace. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to be perfect, because there is a beauty in imperfection, as we say.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Today you see it 90% today going to be 100%. 99.9%.
Okay, so that's really amazing. But don't you think that we should have made this long time ago? Like for example, we should have started this project-based learning long time before. We were forced to do it now because of the lockdown and everything. But was it better or was it going to be better if we started it long before so the students were already, they are going to be ready in order to do it?
Of course, but forcing is something we can't expect before.
Yes.
Okay, but I think it will go to be a great benefit from coronavirus.
Okay, so this is one of
their minds to be different.
So this is going to be one of the perks or one of the advantages of coronavirus. At last, there is something good about corona. Okay.
Staying at home is great.
That's
but
amazing.
not for a long time.
Yes, I missed my students. I missed the classroom. I missed the games and the activities, and even I miss my students whining, Miss Ahmed, we don't want to do this, please, and so on. But I miss you. To be honest, class 2E, I miss you all. Okay, so let me ask you more specifically about your major. So your major is biology. What do you think the future of biology is? Talking about school and talking about the level of our students. What do you think or what do you expect your students to learn or to, how can they more like apply what they are studying in biology in their life? Is it related or not related? Because I hear a lot of students say, okay, we need English because English is going to help us after that in the jobs and everything. But why do we need biology?
I think after coronavirus, they will going to know.
They're going to appreciate biology.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yes. Okay. It's a very, 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 very small, semi-living organism. It's not living or non-living. It's something between them. But force us to make a lot of things that we can.
Exactly.
We don't need to make it
this tiny virus.
Without biology, we can't understand the factors that affect the virus. Can't protect ourselves from it. I hope that we going to find any vaccine for it.
Inshallah, I hope so.
By the help of biotechnology and by the help of biology,
of course.
By the knowledge of biology, we know that the virus we can get rid of it by many ways. Okay.
At least we know how to protect ourselves.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially, I know that I appreciate it. Really. Okay. Not the virus only. We know a lot of things about a lot of things. We know about a huge number of living organisms that we can see. Okay, the world of microorganisms that causes a lot of disease and causes a lot of benefits in our life. There is no cheese without bacteria. There is no yogurt without bacteria. There is no vaccines without living organisms. There is a lot of things without other living. We know all of this by using biology. They need to understand the difference between living, between the uses of it, which is benefit and which is bad. But we need biology in our lives as a human being. In many benefits, there is a great subspecific of biology called biotechnology that use biology in that technology, using it practically to help the others in toothpaste. We can use it without chemicals, but by using small type of bacteria, we are trying to make some things like that. After using it, we can get rid of fluoride in the toothpaste that causes us to have many precipitate in our teeth. We can use it instead of toothpaste.
It reminds me of alternative medicine, like in order to avoid chemicals and so on, let's go to nature.
Most of medicines is based at the most on the chemicals, but it percepted on our kidney, causes kidney failure, causes
side effects,
a lot of it. But after using some living in the medicine instead of chemistry, it doesn't have a lot of side effects. I think in senior one they love genetic engineer a lot of it, to know what they expect their child will going to be.
That's amazing, because we studied this in one of the units in the Hello about the genetic engineering and how parents are now choosing how the color of the eyes of their children and so on, remember? So it's related somehow.
Yeah. All
and even with vegetables and fruits, how to make the tomatoes more ripe or more juicy or more sweet and so on.
Or take more time before getting nuts. Okay, it's all about biotechnology by using genetic engineering.
That's amazing.
In my master, we use a special type of wheat.
Wheat?
Yeah.
Wheat? Not that weed, not the crack, okay.
No. Not weed.
We talking?
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot what I was saying. Okay, so we were using weed.
Get to plant it in place, lake of water places. Like dessert, it's produce huge number of wheat crops. Okay, in places it's impossible to plant it in it, like our deserts, like Saudi Arabia, and in this time Saudi Arabia tried to use this. Crops or these seeds to get their crops to be enough for themselves. Okay, I hope to try it too.
So biology is important in all walks of life. So please don't ever say, why do I need to study biology? Here's why. Okay, talking about e-learning. So I know that your classes are interesting. I know that students enjoy your class, but how can we use e-learning in the same way? Talking about myself, for example, I use games and so on with my students. Through e-learning, it's difficult for me to let them play games and so on. I do apply some of the techniques, like I let them watch a video and to tell me their thoughts, but when it comes to games, I feel that my hands are cuffed. So how do you think you're going to make your biology class interesting through e-learning?
I used the Zoom project or program, and I try to make activities with them. It's very effective because at Zoom you can see many students at the same time. You can divide them into groups.
Wow.
Okay, and see at the screen the interaction between them. And we played a lot of things in my settings in Zoom. It was very effective.
That's interesting. I'm going to try this. But you need to have your students to be online at the same time of the day. Okay.
You share your setting number, setting ID, and we say together at once, yeah, we are going to start now. Let's go. And we start.
That's interesting. But the problem, I created a poll on Edmodo, and I asked my students why they are less motivated in order to learn through Edmodo. And one of my students, and I asked them to vote, and the majority voted that they don't have internet access available all the time. So I think this is a major problem here in Egypt, that we don't have access to the internet all the time. I mean, yes, they of course, they have access to the internet in order to play games and so on, but it's not like they cannot check Edmodo daily, to be honest.
Of course.
So we can agree on certain time?
Sometimes, and the problem of internet in Egypt, when we are in the same sites together, going to fail. Moodle is not so fast. I don't know why, but maybe because of all of us going to the same site in the same time together.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a problem, of course. But we can see the comments. Because it wasn't like the Facebook, you can see the comments after a while.
Yes.
It's not a big deal. After doing any assignments that we put it, they can see it in 2 days or 3 days or gone or so on. We can take the part or understand that we can make our homeworks take more time.
Yes, actually,
to allow all of them to access anytime, to access when the internet is available. Sometimes it's not available at their homes, but in their relatives and their friends' homes. Not with coronavirus, but they can get internet in their mobile phones. Once daily. Okay. It's not great in our.
It's not the hindrance. It's not the real hindrance.
Yeah.
This is a lame excuse, Mrs. I won't say.
Yes. That's a real excuse.
So actually, you save money from the courses, I suppose, so that you're not taking any private courses. So you can use this money in different areas. So you can use just some of this money in order to access the internet, in order to not to miss things that can be explained on the internet.
Mobile data.
Exactly.
You can get your mobile data only for e-learning. Okay, Moodle doesn't take a lot of gigabytes like videos, but they spend a lot of gigabytes on videos more than Moodle. Okay, I trust you, but not in this point.
Okay, actually, Miss Asmaa, I enjoyed our talk so much, and I hope, inshallah, we can catch up on our meetings. And dear students, if you want me to interview any of your favorite teachers, please tell me. And if you have any question for Miss Asmaa, please write it in the comment section below. And thank you for watching. Exactly, we're going to do more meetings, more interviews. And thank you for watching. Thank you, Miss Asmaa, for your time. Bye-bye and have a nice day.
Bye.